On MLB.com this week, well, technically last week, there was a discussion with Matt Waymire and Jim Duquette discussing which players could be traded and where would they be traded to. And I was kind of baffled at how limited and lacking the analysis was, considering these people are paid to discuss this. And I just wanted to give my thoughts on what they were talking about and some of my own thoughts about players that could be traded that, in my opinion, make more sense. So the first player they talked about was Cole Hamels being traded, as if no one's ever talked about Cole Hamels before. But anyways, Jim Duquette went on to say that last year he was the best pitcher in the league, or one of the best. Obviously he was not the best because he did not win the Cy Young, but he was going off and saying he had a low ERA and he was just phenomenal or whatever. My problem with that analysis is two things. Number one, he did not mention how Cole Hamels is doing right now, and it's not so good. He was not so good in the spring. His ERA is alright. He pitched well this week, but every day with him is unknown. You don't know what you're getting with Cole Hamels. If I'm a team looking for a key left-hand ace pitcher, I'm going to look somewhere else because Cole Hamels is iffy right now. And the second reason why this pisses me off, who cares how well you did last year? Sandy Koufax had phenomenal years when he was pitching baseball. Should we get him to start pitching? I don't think so. It doesn't matter how good you did several years ago. What matters is right now. And right now, Cole Hamels is not as good as people think he is. Hypothetically, you could say get Cliff Lee, because in 2013 he was on the Cy Young voting and he had a fantastic year. But right now he's trying to rehab a shoulder injury, or is it an elbow? I'm not sure which. So just because you were good a few years ago does not mean you're good now, and does not mean you're going to be good in the future. That kind of thinking makes no sense. He also said that if you had Cole Hamels, you'd get him for 4 years. If he was 26, I would say, yeah, good deal. But he's over 30 now. Players get worse over time. And Cole Hamels is the kind of guy I don't see him being that good 35 and on. And I think getting him to that point may not be what players, or I should say, what teams are looking for, especially when there's better options. What also pissed me off was he was talking about certain teams that might be interested in Cole Hamels, and to be perfectly honest, none of them would be because they are not in contention right now, and it's too early to know for sure. So Jim Duquette suggests that the Cardinals might be in contention to get him. Here's my problem with that. They already have 4 pitchers in Carlos Martinez, Lance Lynn, John Lackey, and Michael Wacha. Yes, Wainwright is no longer on the team, but they still have 4 quality guys. And Jaime Garcia might come back, and they got Marco Gonzalez. Why would they trade for Cole Hamels when they already have the pitching depth? It makes no sense. The Dodgers already have financial commitments in Greinke, in Kershaw, in Ryu, Anderson, and McCarthy. Yes, Cole Hamels might help them out, but they don't have the money to spend on him. And they don't want to give their prospects. They got Seager and Urias. That's their future. They've already learned the hard way when you get old veterans how well they play. Just see Kyle Crawford. There's no need to do that. It's a waste of money. The Yankees. The Yankees are in first right now, but they just lost Tanaka. How are they going to move on because of that is unknown at this time. They have an old team, and the league will catch up with them. They're in first now, but they may not be first in a few weeks from now. Speculating on how good a team is right now and trying to determine if they should get players is stupid. The Twins are catching up and they're doing well. Should they trade for Cole Hamels? Absolutely not. And the Astros have a lot of top prospects. They're currently rebuilding at this time. Yes, they are playing better, above expectations, but they don't need Cole Hamels. They have McHugh and they have Dallas Keuchel. They do not need an ace pitcher. They got one. A number 3 or 4 guy? Okay, we're talking here. But an ace pitcher? That makes no sense. And the one team he didn't mention that does need starting pitching really badly is the Boston Red Sox. Every pitcher on that team is terrible. Also, the Red Sox have the money and they have the prospects. So far, no deal has happened between the two teams, but if you want to talk about which team should be going after him, that's the team. Technically, the Blue Jays probably should also consider it because they don't have a strong rotation right now. And there's other teams as well that I feel like are going to be in contention. But the problem is when you're talking about teams in contention, we're in the first week of May. How the heck can you know who's in and who's not at this point? You just look at the first place and you figure, hey, they might want somebody. It really doesn't work that way, and speculating like this is kind of stupid. The next player I talked about was Chase Utley. And first off, there's a lot of problems with mentioning this. Number one, Chase Utley is 36 years old. Number two, he's batting like 116. Number three, no team is going to want that contract or that bad production on the field. They were mentioning the Dodgers might want a second baseman. Yeah, they probably do, but they don't want that. And there's better guys out there they could definitely pick up other than Chase Utley. The fact he was saying he's got plenty left in the tank makes me laugh. Where are you seeing this from? Even last year was considered a good year for Chase Utley, and it wasn't even that great in all considered. When you really think about it, wasn't that great. Yes, he made the All-Star team, but making the All-Star team is based on voting from the fans, not how well you necessarily are, because many times better players don't make it to the starting lineup or even onto the team. So it's really just a personal opinion on the matter. But Chase Utley does not have much left in the tank. He is an old man with an overpriced contract. Nobody wants any of that, and I do not blame them. Even if the Angels needed some kind of second baseman, I have better ideas they definitely could have, and I will express them soon, or I should say shortly. The last thing they mentioned was, well, they mentioned a few things. They mentioned like Gallardo and, Matt Garza and Loesch being trade prospects. And I guess that makes sense. Not too much to complain about that. And they also mentioned Carlos Gonzalez might be traded to the Angels. And I just want to say how stupid that is. They signed Josh Hamilton to a big contract to play in the outfield, and he had injury problems, and that did not work out well. So you're telling me they should acquire another guy to play in the outfield who also gets injured a lot and has a huge contract as well. How does that make any sense? The answer is it doesn't. I cannot believe he said that. I really can't. That makes no sense to me. There's better players out there, and there's better opportunities for trading, which I'm going to discuss right now, and my thoughts on players who could be traded and make more sense. First off, Johnny Cueto. Where can he go? Any of the teams that they mentioned, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Yankees, because the Reds, honestly, well, they should get prospects, but they can't demand too much because it's a year. It's basically you're renting Cueto for a week, so you cannot demand too much, but you should get something good, one key prospect. And Cueto is a lot better than Cole Hamels right now and probably has been in the past few years, so he's a much bigger prize for any team. A left-hand or right-hand is irrelevant. Cueto is the man. I would take him. Chapman is another key guy for bullpen help. Teams that could definitely use him would be the Tigers. I know their Joakim Soria is good, but having another guy out there is pretty good as well. The Dodgers had some bullpen problems. I know the bullpen is great now, but it doesn't hurt to have another guy in there, so I would think maybe that would work out. I know the Padres picked up Kimbrel, but their bullpen is still terrible, so having another guy out there would be helpful as well. Basically, any team with bullpen need could definitely use Chapman. And it's just cool to have a guy who could throw over 100 on your team. So I could definitely see them going after him. Another idea I thought about was trading Joey Votto to the Yankees because Mark Teixeira's contract is going away soon, and he'll be off the team. And the Yankees are going to need a good quality first baseman or someone who could DH. And with Joey Votto, you get both. Plus, my thought was the Yankees wouldn't have to give up too much because all they'd have to do is eat the contract, and that would make the Reds happy because they'd get more money to spend, and the Yankees happy because they get a good quality MVP-like first baseman. So I was thinking maybe they should do that. If the Angels need a second baseman, Brandon Phillips would probably be a better choice because he plays good defense, kind of like Howie Kendrick did, and he actually can swing the bat well, unlike Chase Utley. So I'm not sure what they were thinking on that. Two pitchers I was thinking about that could be traded are Mark Burley and R.A. Dickey of the Blue Jays, because in my opinion, the Blue Jays are not in contention. Those two guys need to go, and need to go now. And Burley, for example, he's a good number 3 or 4 guy in the rotation, and a team like the Cardinals could definitely use him, even the Dodgers, even the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Astros. Somebody who has a veteran leadership. He knows what he's doing out there. He's won a World Series before, and he's someone you wouldn't have to spend a fortune in prospects to get. and he's someone that most teams need because the Dodgers have an ace pitcher. They don't need an ace pitcher. Same with the Red Sox. I mean, not the Red Sox. Same with the Yankees to a degree, and same with the Cardinals and the Astros. But getting a guy like Burley, he's not an ace pitcher, at least not anymore. He's a good number 3-4 guy, even number 2 if necessary. That's the kind of pitcher you need. And R.A. Dickey, for the Blue Jays standpoint, has a year left on his contract after this year, so you could definitely get good value out of him just from a trade, and he's a good veteran guy as well. Although I don't think you should give up what the Blue Jays did to get him originally, but regardless, he could be a good trade acquisition for a team that needs some good starting depth, like they mentioned in the video. The last guy I was thinking about was Jonathan Papelbon, and how maybe he could go to the Blue Jays because the Blue Jays need some bullpen help, and he is a good closer, and they may not have to give up too much for him if they decide to eat the contract rather than give him good prospects or something of the nature, because I honestly think that Papelbon is a good guy to get, and so is Hudson Street. That's another guy because in my opinion, I feel that the Angels are not going to be competing this year because they're having too many issues with their rotation, the bullpen, even the hitting is not strong right now. And instead of trying to, quote-unquote, pick up key guys to help their team out, they should be trading players. They already got rid of Hamilton. I think Hudson Street is next on the way out, and he'd be great on a team like the Blue Jays who really need that help. And like I said, they could give up something good for him. Not too much, but something, because I think Hudson Street is going to be a free agent at the end. And Chris Davis is a power hitter, and every team needs power, so you might get him. Probably most likely with an American League team because he goes to DH as well. He goes to K's a lot, but he's a good hitter as well, so something to think about. Anyhow, those are my thoughts on Jim Duquette and Matt Waymire's thoughts on who they think should be traded or not. Personally, I think it's too early to discuss this, but since they did, I gave my thoughts on the matter. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, throw some heat at the like button. Make sure you leave your comment in the comment section below and share it with the entire world of sports. Thanks for watching and have a great day.